just as I hit record, I get something in my eye. Alright, I've had breakfast, I've had a coffee, I'm trying to wake up. And we got like a little explanation and upgrade of the solar shed. Before we go into the new bits and pieces, the solar shed come about by accident. I moved into this house. I wanted a separate room for amateur radio, the hobby. So bought a brand new shed specifically to use for amateur radio. And thought, as I've got bits and pieces for solar power, we'll run the shed off solar power. So all the lights, radios, laptop will run from solar, which it did. It was fantastic. It was brilliant. But then, obviously, I was only going in the shed for the radios every, once or twice a month. I don't get a lot of time for the hobby. So I decided, with the batteries are always full. I bought a second battery, so I've got two 110 amp hour batteries. The Phoenix inverter is quite sufficient, so I decided to run a large extension lead from the shed to an isolated socket in this room, in the living room of the house. So we've got power, limited power. I say limited because at night I'm running off battery. Just to utilise the power that we've got sat in the shed. We're storing it up. The battery was getting full by midday. In fact, by 11 o'clock in the morning, the batteries were full. So in the evening, I get home about midnight, and I run my laptop at night, run a fan, charge things, USB. Got a 4-5 hub USB thing down there, plug stuff in there all the time. So we're using the power we're producing. I've done a meter reading the other day because I've got a kilowatt hour meter in there. I've used 20 kilowatts of power since installed the kilowatt hour meter. It's not a lot of power, but it's a fun hobby. It's something to do, keeps you ticking over. So we've had to now work out what I'm doing with the solar. On dark days, cloudy days, rainy days, British days, I don't get enough power to charge the batteries. Like today, they're fully charged. They're like 13 point something volts when I checked earlier. So that I worked out the 100 watt, 200 watt panels weren't quite enough for bad days. So I've ordered 2 more 100 watt panels. They should be in a couple of days. But I also had to order some other stuff to go with 100 watt panels, for starters, the breaker I'm using at the moment is a 24 volt DC, automobile breaker. Some people use them on boats. But I want to run the panels in series, which is going to be 100 volts, 88 volts, over 80 volts. So the 24 volt breaker, 24 volt breaker or 48 volts, can't remember now, isn't going to be enough. So we bought a big DC 33 or 34 amp 1000 volt DC breaker. So we're going to swap that over and have a better breaker and isolation switch for the that's more definite. The other one is, I don't like the other ones. So that's going to isolate the solar panels, which will be handy when I'm running 80 or DC volts through there. And of course, my 10 amp charge controller isn't going to run that sort of stuff. So we've bought the new, bigger 40 amp Epever tracer 10 amp. I can't remember the model number. Oh, it should be on the box here. Probably not. No, it just says Epever charge controller. There, I can't read the rest of it without some sort of eyeglasses. No. Well, anyway, right. Well, I like Epever. I like a lot of brands. I like my inverter, but I don't like the charge controllers they make. So straight away, I've noticed the holes in the bottom are massive. The huge, big upgrade. It's bigger. It's heavier. And I'm going to go out there and wire these up in a moment. I've just finished my coffee. And then hopefully next few days, the other 2 solar panels will be here. and then we can charge the batteries quicker and in less sunlight. If it's a cloudy day, I only get like half an amp or an amp coming in, and the charge controller only boosts it up by about half an amp. But if I've got more voltage to work with and more panels, that should help compensate slightly for the bad weather and winter coming. Done the measurements. This will run 4 panels. This is 40 amp. 33 amps I might be getting from the 4 100 watt panels, even at put them in series to keep it at 5 amps, 100 volts. This should boost it up to, we will see, we're just going to randomly say, should get 30 amps out of it on a good day. On a bad day, we might only get 5 or 10 amps, which is still a lot more than what I'm getting at the moment with just 2 panels. Well, yeah, in theory, it should double. Should be getting twice. Then twice the current. So yeah, we're going to be going from 22 volts at the moment on solar to 88 volts on solar. So yeah, we have to buy a bigger charge controller. Got this at a cheap price. I was just looking into it. I was online now and then, looking at stuff, thinking, should I start upgrading stuff in the shed? And then this turned up really cheap, so I had to jump on it. And then I thought, oh, it's buy one of these, so I jumped on that. Can use the same cabling on the roof because I oversized the cable that runs from the panels to the charge controller. So I think that's 20 amps, 25 amps. But because I'm running everything in series, it will handle the voltage, and the amperage is only going to be 7 amps, so that's fine to use. Yeah, well, that's enough waffling for me. I'm going to get on. Oh yeah, the funny story. The whole idea of making this video. I got in from work last night about midnight, sat here, had my dinner, had a coffee, chilled out. Got to about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was going through checking my emails, and I realised I had an email from, I think it was Amazon, 2 days ago. Parcel's been delivered, left in a safe place. It's been outside for 2 days. I've been like saying to the missus, "Oh, is it here yet? Is it here yet?" Talking about it at work. Oh, can't wait to get money here, blah, blah, blah. 2 days it was outside in our safe place. So yeah, I could have had this 2 days ago. However, so yeah, this morning, I think it was 2:30 this morning, I was out in the garden with a torch. Drew this. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, check your emails. For those people that moaned, I'm admin on groups and I take a while to approve stuff on groups on Facebook. It's not just you that has to wait 2 days. I didn't check my emails 2 days. I didn't check the safe place. I come home at night, like midnight. I'm knackered. I come in. I don't always have dinner, and I go to bed. I don't sit there checking emails and notifications on Facebook. Try to. I can't. So because of that, 2 days just in the garden. Right, we're going to get on now. I might even make another brew to take out of the shed. Got to get some socks on. I think I'm awake now. Yeah, we'll make another video when this is all up and running. I'm going to do a size comparison because the other one's tiny compared to this.